It's April 5th, 2021. My name's Harry Moore, and I'm a realtor in the DC metro area. I've been helping people buy and sell real estate for 25 years. And today, I'm going to share a few tips for those frustrated buyers out there who are up to here with the spring market. Key is, think outside the box a little bit and get a leg up on the competition. So let's dive right in. First tip, work with an agent who's a known quantity and experienced in the market. This will help you in one way that you might not think about. If the listing agent has a couple of offers and they look at the agents who are bringing the offers and they see one who's experienced, who's a known quantity in the market, and the other who's maybe new or part-time, doesn't have a long track record, they're probably going to advise their sellers about that. And unless there's a big difference between the offers, they might give a little preference to the experienced hand. Next tip, let's talk about farming. Well, you might sort of scratch your head and say, there aren't a whole lot of farms around here. Well, I'm talking about farming two specific things. First is the neighborhood. If you're focused on a particular neighborhood, there are ways to data mine and find out people who might be likely sellers in the near future. And there are a variety of ways to contact those people. For years, I have sent out, I've got a buyer letters, and sometimes they've been successful, sometimes not. Now, with data mining, you can dig down and really focus in on people who are likely to sell based on all kinds of big data and target them not only with letters, but through electronic communication to try and contact them and see if you can catch them before they go on the market. Second kind of farming is farming people, and those would be agents. One of the things that I do is I look for agents who are active in a particular area or who have recently had properties that were listed, went under contract, and settled. Because oftentimes those people will be in communication with potential sellers and they might be able to open up the door to somebody who's thinking about selling but maybe isn't quite ready or doesn't want to do all the work, and give an opportunity to get in the door before everybody else. Next place to look, investment properties. So you can look at investment properties that are on the market and those that are off the market. We'll start with on the market properties. So if you have an investment property that's in the multiple list and is trying to be sold, the tenants can be very difficult. So they're not going to tidy up too much. They're going to make it difficult to show. Sometimes they're going to want to be there when the buyers are showing, which can be kind of awkward. So those properties can provide a real opportunity. If the buyer has the flexibility to wait until the lease is up, you can look at your financing. Generally, you can get 60 days to sort of rent back. There are risks there. You have to understand what the tenant's rights are and sort of assess all of that when you're putting together your offer. But those are properties that sometimes take a little longer to sell. The other kind of investment property are investment properties that aren't on the market yet. Again, using data mining, you can find non-owner occupied properties and you can contact those sellers, see if they have a tenant. Maybe they're thinking about selling. They may be tired of tenants and toilets. They may have an opportunity for another property somewhere else, might be wanting to do a starker exchange. There are a variety of reasons the landlord might not want to be a landlord anymore, and that could be another opportunity for you to step in. Next, distressed properties. If you're focused on a particular neighborhood, drive the neighborhood. Look for houses that, maybe are looking a little shabby, the yard's not in such good shape, you see a little peeling paint, the roof looks kind of old, other signs of deferred maintenance. That could be a property that if it fits for you, would be a great thing for your agent to contact and to see if those people might be thinking about selling and they don't want to go to the trouble of doing all the things that you have to do to bring a property up to sort of full speed. They may just be interested in moving on, and that can be another opportunity for you to get in the door and look at something, see if it might be a good fit for you before it goes on the open market. Next, for sale by owners. So a lot of agents tend to sort of steer away from for sale by owners for a couple of reasons. First, because they can be hard to find. You have to go outside of the multiple list to discover them. Sometimes the for sale by owner just has a little sign in the front yard, or they're on a variety of for sale by owner websites and things like Craigslist and all that kind of stuff. So you have to dig a little deeper to find them. Second problem is that you don't have, that for sale by owners aren't professional, in that this isn't what they do for a living. They don't necessarily understand all the ins and outs, and it's more work for the agent to actually get that house to settlement. If you look at whatever you do for a living, my guess is when you have to deal with somebody else, you'd probably rather deal with a professional on the other side than somebody who's never done it before. It's the same thing with for sale by owners. Another problem is that a lot of for sale by owners don't want to pay the commission to an agent. Now, there are ways to sort of work around that and integrate the commission into the sale price of the house. You just have to be a little bit creative. If you'd like to see my recent video about what's happening in Montgomery County real estate, click over here. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel so you can keep up to date as new videos come out, click over there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.